Hey, what's up, Facebook? Um, Topic I'm going to talk about tonight is time and what people think of it. When you think of currency, materialistic items, things that you have, things that you want, nothing really, when you properly sit down and think about it, nothing really compares to the price of time. Like, you can't buy time. Even when you're watching this, even when you're going about your daily business and you're doing things that are deemed important. When compared to time, are they really? Do they equate on the price scale? How many of us live a life where, should we be faced with death in a moment, would you look back and think to yourself that you lived life to the fullest? Would you be able to successfully sit there and say that I can happily die without worrying about things I did or didn't do? It's an interesting point, for people to live through their lives at such a fast pace, not thinking about the little things and the big things that make life what it is. At what point do you come to terms with the reality that you may or may not be happy with what you've done in life so far? I'm 22 years old, and would I be happy with everything I've done? I'd say I'm getting there. I've had a lot of life experience, I've had a lot of things that have shaped who I am, but I wouldn't say I'm completely fulfilled at the minute. I'm on that path, but, ask yourselves, do you feel right now that, your life is fulfilled as it should be? Have you done the things you wanted to do? Are you with the people you want to be with? Are you around space and surroundings that make you feel comfortable and happy and appreciated? It's a very deep topic when you think about it, because when you're faced with your own mortality, and your own death, at what point do you come to terms that life is a precious thing? We wake up every morning and some of us complain about the day, but should you be faced with a time scale, I doubt you'd be complaining anymore. You wake up and you're complaining about your job, the people you're with, your friends, your family, lovers, things like this, but should you be faced with the question that you've got weeks, months, years to live, if you're given a time scale, if you're given a clock, what happens? What do you realise? I think to live life and walk through life without an appreciation of what you've got, without that clock, is a bad thing. And if you're not living life thinking to yourself that you want to live every moment that it's as precious as it can be, then you're going to be faced with a shock, I think. I don't know how to put it. It's just something loomed over me, when you think about where you're at in life and what you've done and what you've got and who's around you. Like, how many people here can count on one hand how many friends they've got? How many people can say how many, the close family members they have? I've got two close family members. That's not a bad thing, it's not a negative thing. I don't complain about that, because the rest of them are not worth the time that I have to give. But yet, I think we'd all like that, to have that kind of thing. Some people have fantastic families, some people don't. Depends who you choose to give your time to, Like when you with colleagues and things like that as well, like, because obviously I'm not speaking from a real point of view tonight, but, people who are at college, people who are at university, people who are at, have a job and do this and that, like, how many of you can be asked to give those people your time? It's precious. When somebody says, "Oh, I get paid £12 an hour," what the fuck does that mean? I get paid 60 grand a year. What the fuck does that mean? What's 60 grand a year going to mean, when you're faced with that mortality? What is money? What's important in life? What's precious? Tonight I'm asking questions, Tonight I'm not actually giving advice, I'm asking questions. These are the answers I would like. At what point do you come to terms in life where you wake up and you think, this is my perfect day, this is what I believe, this is how how I feel comfortably. I feel good now. How many of us wake up thinking that? How many of us wake up feeling good? I bet there are a lot of people that wake up feeling pretty shitty. That's a sad thought. I think that's a sad thought, to think that the way I see life at the minute and the way I've been built over the months to think about life, to think that there are people out there that wake up hating their life is a sad thing for me. I think that's a lot of the reason why I do this, so that people aren't going to have to do that anymore, or at least try to stop that as much as possible. Make people wake up a little bit happier, make people realise that it's not such a dark place when you just take a step back, shine a light on it, look into the sun, feel the sun on your face. Wake up in the morning, breathe. Wake up in the morning and feel all of your limbs, your fingers, everything, depending on what you have. There's always something to appreciate. But I don't know, a deep concept tonight, one that I'm not fully understanding of myself, to be fair. But something for you all to think about. Not your most upbeat video, I'm not gonna lie, but something for everyone to think about. So keep yourselves in good health. Look after yourselves. Make sure you try to help other people. It might give you a new perspective on things, But that's it for tonight. See you later.